Mercury enters Aquarius on Monday, February 5th, and immediately conjoins Pluto, suggesting secrets coming out, intense conversations, and obsessive thoughts. I am here to tell you more and to break it down for all 12 signs. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive readings. If you like my work, please support me by leaving a like or a comment, subscribing, and pressing the notification bell. All of that helps me, helps my channel grow, encourages me to create more content. You also have the option of saying thank you by buying me a coffee. I really appreciate that as well. Before we dive in, if you'd like to work with me, I am calling February the month of love because of Valentine's Day and because why not? You know, we gotta celebrate love when we decide to celebrate it. So during the month of February, you can save $20 on the in-person relationship reading consultation with the coupon code 20love, 20love. Or you can save $40 on the recorded reading in the shop section of my website. The discount is already built in. The relationship reading, you can get it as a single person. If you're single, I will take a look at your natal romantic potential, at your perfect partner, at the possible places you can meet them. I will also describe the trends coming up for you and highlight most important romantic transits for you personally. If you are in a relationship, I will compare two of your charts, describe what each of you needs, describe your synastry and your composite chart, and give you guidance, highlighting things that work and highlighting things that can be improved. Additionally, in the shop section of my website, you can find my magical candle and oil creations. You can also find my planner there. It is currently discounted and it has 225 pages filled with astrological insights, journaling prompts, new moons, full moons, information that can help you decode your chart and can help you understand the transits to come, including some of the beautiful, lovely dates to go on a romantic encounter with someone or start a business. Additionally, on my website, you can find my Venus in Libra candles. There is Venus in Libra from 2022 and Venus in Libra 2 from 2023. Lots of numbers. Venus in Libra has a rose scent. There's few of these left because it's from 2022 and there's not as many remain. And this one has a honeysuckle jasmine scent and it's decorated with amethyst stones to help connect the energy of the candle to the planet. These candles are perfect if you are trying to find romance, if you're trying to improve your current relationship, and if you were born with Venus in a more complicated natal position, such as Venus in Aries, Scorpio, and Virgo, or if your Venus in the 8th, 6th, or 12th houses, which are called dark houses. Planets there tend to spend a lot of time dealing with issues like health, mental health, or finances, which is the case with the 8th house. Additionally, if your Venus is making difficult aspects to Pluto, or actually any aspects except for sextile and trine to Pluto, Saturn, and a square to Mars, I would also recommend this for you. So thank you for listening. Let's talk about Mercury entering Aquarius and Mercury conjoining Pluto. So the big part of this video is Mercury being in Aquarius, right? Mercury enters Aquarius on the 5th of February, and that will be at 1:05 a.m. So pretty at the start of the, no, never mind. This is actually 12:10 a.m. So even earlier on the 5th of February, stays here until the 23rd of February. And Mercury in Aquarius is the planet of the mind in the sign of Saturn. Aquarius traditionally, I'm a traditional astrologer, is ruled by Saturn, but it's a young Saturn. It's a Saturn that is an outsider, but he wants to change the world. He wants to improve the world. So when Mercury is placed in Aquarius, and if you have this placement natally, please let me know, we tend to be more rational We tend to be a little bit more detached from the feelings. People born with Mercury in Aquarius can sometimes communicate in a very sort of scientific, rational way that can sometimes touch other people the wrong way, rub them the wrong way when they feel like maybe they're not feeling things. But of course, you know, your feeling nature depends on so many other things. So just being born with Mercury in Aquarius doesn't mean you're not feeling. But it tends to make people really curious, really intellectual. They can be overthinkers on some level. They can communicate in a way that is more eccentric. They can enjoy talking about controversial subjects. And those will be different for every single person, right? No Aquarius or no Aquarius Mercury is alike. Somebody might find talking about astrology controversial, while somebody might find talking about romance in their family controversial because nobody talks about the intimacy or whatever it might be. So in general, we may feel like we're becoming more progressive, more realistic, more objective, or more thinking outside the box, more interested in unique, groundbreaking ideas, and also quite more interested in talking about community and coming up with new ways to improve the world. So the exciting part here is the fact that Mercury will be conjoining Pluto, right? So it enters Aquarius on the 5th of February, and it immediately conjoins Pluto. Let me just give you the exact time for it. So it will conjoin Pluto at 7:57. So it enters Aquarius early in the day, right? Like right away on the 5th of February. You may start to feel this energy a couple of days before. You may start to feel it like between the 3rd of February, and you're likely to feel it for a couple of days after. So between 3rd and 7th, but especially strongly 5th and 6th. So immediately Mercury conjoins Pluto, and I decided to highlight this transit even though it's a shorter running transit because this is important. We're going to get 3 activations of Pluto through planets conjoining it in February, and Mercury is the first one. And Pluto had just gone into Aquarius on the 20th of January. It did travel through Aquarius for a little bit last year between 23rd of March and June 11th. And this year, it's staying for a while, right? And then in November, it's staying permanently for the next 20 years. So Mercury coming together with Pluto is very crucial for revealing the themes of Pluto being in Aquarius. And Pluto, if Mercury is communication, Pluto is the underworld. Pluto is the darkness. Pluto is the power, the control, the subconscious, things that are brewing under the surface. So the first thing that comes to mind when we talk about Mercury and Pluto is secrets coming to light. Mercury is the communicator, a journalist. Pluto is the underworld. So you get the ideas of the whistleblower, of the investigative journalist, of the comedian, the YouTuber, people who are not afraid to talk about the dark, people who are not afraid to be controversial or controversial. And people who are willing to like stir some feelings, right? So there might be secrets coming to light. There might be secrets we hear in the world. And that's why I think it's once again significant, because this could give us clues on what the next 20 years of Pluto and Aquarius will be about. There might be secrets coming to light in your life, right? You may be, in general, Mercury and Pluto increases your intuition, it increases your investigative abilities, your research abilities. So if anyone is lying to you and they're trying to pull a trick on you around this time, they better watch out, because you're more likely to catch them doing it. So just, I hope nobody tries to, trick you or cheat on you or do anything like that around this time. It brings depth and intensity to communication. So having conversations that are very important, very revealing, very sort of activating in your brain, starting to stir things up and bring up new ideas, bringing like some kind of things that you haven't even realized. That's why this is such a great time for therapy and for working through issues, even if it's literally just having important conversations with people in your life. On the negative, of course, you know, Pluto is not just light. Pluto can make you too obsessive. Pluto can make you too controlling. It can make you manipulative, because in order for someone to try and trick you, there has to be someone who will try and trick you. So some people might try to act in a controlling and manipulative way. So beware of that. Beware of coming up as like too overbearing, too interfering, too sort of controlling and intimidating to a point that you're making other people feel threatened. And instead, like I said, try to explore new ideas, explore new possibilities, dig into doing research, try to pay attention to messages, conversations, dreams you're having at this time, because all of this could be very, very potent right now. So we're gonna circle through the zodiac, all 12 signs, to just give you some clues on what kind of themes can be getting activated for you right now. This is a shorter video because I'm traveling in February, and so I'm getting some content done ahead of time. And so you have, you know, if you've been following astrology for a while, you might already know some of these things, or you might already kind of have the ability to deduct some of these. That's why I think we're just gonna do like a really quick run. If you are an Aries rising, Mercury is entering your 11th house and conjoining Pluto in your 11th house. Pay attention at this time to your friendships. Pay attention to whether things feel truthful. You may become more clear on who is supporting you and who is there, sort of more fair weather friend who is not meant to stay in your life. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to your interests and things that are calling your attention. If there is some kind of cause that you feel especially passionate about at this time, it may be an indication that this is something you're meant to pursue, that this is something you're meant to invest and commit to. If you are a Taurus rising, Mercury is entering your 10th house, conjoining Pluto here. Pay attention to your work life, right? 10th house, career, status, reputation. You may be experiencing some kind of shadows coming out in your professional life, whether it means your own secrets. If you've been sleeping with your boss, this could be the time that gets blown up, or later in the month. So try to, like, as much as you can, be high-minded, because if you're high-minded, if you are moral, Pluto will not bring your shadows, your dirty laundry out to air, because you are moral. You got things under control. Your bosses and their secrets can be coming to light. There might be deep realizations around work, around purpose, around what is meant to be your profession versus what is shallow and unfulfilling. So kind of new career paths, important revelations, important conversations around work and your status, and also just like your dreams in life and your pursuits can be happening right now. If you are a Gemini rising, Mercury is entering your 9th house and conjoining Pluto in the 9th house. Shadows and secrets coming out related to education, travel, legal matters, writing, and publishing. So if you are working with a publisher, you might hear some kind of drama there. If you are writing, if you are studying, you might be discovering some kind of shadows around your teachers, maybe realizing that the way things, if you are a teacher, you may be sort of gaining clarity about the way things are done. And like, you know, Mercury conjunct Pluto can be in the very extreme case you find out that someone is taking advantage of their position to manipulate students or something out of their money. So this is very, I think, dramatic. On the positive, this could also be the time when you're having, like, you're discovering some kind of interest. You're watching a movie and it's about France and you fall in love with France and you start feeling like you want to move, you want to reinvent your life. New ideas, new belief systems, new philosophies coming into your life. Your philosophy and your view of the world changing, and your role in it, I think, might be changing quite a lot at this time. If you are a Cancer rising, Pluto is in your 8th house. Mercury is entering your 8th and conjoining Pluto around the 5th and the 6th of February. And so with the 8th house, there might be shadows, power struggles, conflicts connected to money, especially if you are depending on someone financially. This could be the time when the other person tries to hold their power over you and try to manipulate or control you because they have some kind of resource that you need from them. So use that as an indicator of like what needs to be changed, what needs to be transformed. 8th house is the house, like I said, of debts, taxes, shared finances, shared resources, partners' money, and Mercury and Pluto together could give you clarity on how to find your own freedom. But of course, be mindful of being that person who tries to control others. For Leo rising, Mercury is entering your 7th house, conjoins Pluto here. This is all about relationships and partnerships. Messages from exes, messages from your current relationship, jealousy, obsession, power imbalances in relationships. All of this could be highlighted and more visible at this time, encouraging you to transform things, encouraging you to be more vulnerable, to be more honest with yourself, and then in return with your partner, and maybe express how you feel and introduce new beginnings into your relationship. If you are a Virgo rising, Mercury is entering your 6th house, conjoining Pluto here. In the 6th house, you're looking at your work life, you're looking at your health, at your diet and exercise routines. You're becoming more aware of unhealthy patterns at work, maybe colleagues who are making you do their work or sort of, speaking gossip about you behind your back. So any outdated, any sort of rotten things in your work environment may become more apparent. Bad habits may become more clear, encouraging you to release them. So health, work, service, in terms of what you're serving, what is taking your time, there might be some important transformations going on there where you're feeling like your time needs to be spent more wisely and your resources, your energy need to be allocated differently. If you are a Libra rising, Mercury is entering your 5th house, conjoining Pluto here between the 5th and the 6th of February. And here we're looking at romance, pleasure, sex, and children. And this could be the time when you are experiencing major realizations here. You may be dealing with some kind of power struggles, maybe some obsessive thoughts. Some kind of drama is possible in your romantic relationship or with your children. Ultimately, I think whatever is revealed to you right now through conversation, through conflict, through your own obsessive thoughts is encouraging you to become more clear, to take the power back, to be more honest, and to not be afraid of things, right? Because I think Pluto going into your 5th house can bring up a lot of fears around like being betrayed, around being vulnerable, around being a parent and what that might entail. So try to be honest and caring and kind with yourself and work through these problems with patience and calmness. And please let me know, how has Pluto in Aquarius been as of right now? If you are a Scorpio rising, Mercury is entering your 4th house, conjoining Pluto between the 5th and the 6th of the month. This is very revealing, very kind of transformative in regards to family life, in regards to your living situation. Secrets in the family, skeletons in the closet can be coming out and doing a dance. Any unhealthy dynamics, any underhand tactics, family members being kind of, like trying to stir some drama, all of that can be possible right now. And the invitation here is to take your power back and be more in control of how you react to things and kind of be more self-contained, I think. Like focus on staying patient, staying calm, and remember that the outside world reflects your inside world. So as much as you can, working on improving your inside world and staying calm so that the rest of your outside environment will follow. Now, if you are a Sagittarius rising, Mercury is entering your 3rd house and conjoining Pluto here between the 5th and the 6th of the month. Here we're looking at your sibling relationship, at your communication style, at your education, at your schedule and your relationship with community, as well as your business. There's a lot of things in the 3rd house, but it is your everyday life, right? And so Mercury conjoining Pluto can definitely stir some shadows and some drama in the relationships with siblings. It can also reveal some kind of like tensions with neighbors, tensions with people in your community, encouraging you to bring change there, encouraging you to update your schedule, to rethink your routines, to choose pursuits that are more authentic. I think if you're feeling some kind of frustration or dealing with some kind of conflicts or even having obsessive thoughts around this time, listen to them, pay attention to them, and look for ways to A, improve your everyday life, and B, find ways to balance those thoughts. Like if some kind of pattern of thinking becomes more apparent, this is your invitation to find ways to either put it out on the page by journaling, or put it out online by blogging and sharing your concerns, or even starting to talk to a therapist. Like Pluto in the third can also be encouraging of like a mindset transformation. Next, we have Capricorn rising. Pluto is in your second house. Mercury is entering your second and conjoining Pluto between the 5th and the 6th. And here you're looking at money and values, and whether you let money control you or you control it, whether you have enough or you're scraping by, whether you are controlled by other people's resources or independent. So I think Mercury conjunct Pluto can bring up a lot of sort of shadows around resources, your fears, your tendencies to maybe even like hold on to things and people that are not worthy anymore, right? Like we're talking about the second house as money, but it can also be about other people and the value you place on them, and ultimately in the long run the value you place on yourself. So important realizations, a little bit of potential of power struggles and conflicts about money and values, but I think in the long run you have the power to get out of it with more confidence. But of course we are at the start of this long Pluto journey, so take it easy and be patient. Next, we have an Aquarius rising. Mercury is entering your first, conjoining Pluto between the 5th and the 6th. Here you're having some kind of on the negative, first house rules health, your image, your body, your goals. So on the negative, Mercury-Pluto conjunction can bring some kind of attack on your well-being, somebody else sort of harassing you or being disrespectful of your space and your time. You may be thinking obsessive thoughts. You may be being like a little bit frustrated with yourself. So the invitation here is to pay attention, to stay patient, stay calm, and work on taking your power back, work on moving through things with dignity, but also not backing down, right? Which could be like a really tough balance to keep without like hurting other people, but also maintaining your beliefs and your goals and, even your sort of health and well-being here. Next, if you are a Pisces rising, Pluto is in your 12th house. Mercury is entering on the 5th, conjoins Pluto between the 5th, 6th, 7th. And here you are experiencing some kind of shadows in relation to your mental health, in relation to your self-destructive patterns. So if you're feeling any obsessive thoughts, if you're realizing that something in your life is not serving you, like, worrying too much about other people, or stressing, being constantly sort of stressed about work, or being always like lacking money, this could be the thoughts you're thinking, the conversations you're having, the obsessive tendencies that are coming up right now. They're all clues on what you will be working through in the next 20 years with Pluto being in Aquarius. Invitation here, do therapy, do meditation, do yoga, do journaling. Look for ways to first get centered and happy within yourself, and then start addressing those tangible problems one by one, step by step. 12th house is the place of healing. 12th house is the place of therapy and doing work that is healing and helping to the world. So another manifestation of this transit could be about you finding your gifts and talents and expressing them and doing work, like discovering your passions. Like, once again, if you're feeling a little bit like focused on something so strongly at this time and just all of your attention is going there, maybe it's worth exploring, maybe it's worth researching, maybe it's worth investigating and committing to doing that for a living, or you know, doing some kind of healing work, volunteer work, giving back as much as you can, and through that finding better balance. This is all I have for you. I hope your Mercury Pluto conjunction is not too bad. I hope it doesn't bring too much drama in your life, and I hope you find your true callings at this time, right? Like I said, it could be really great for research, therapy, and investigative work. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.